sandata, kanyang iminulat ang mga mata. Kababayan nati, kanyang pinagkaisa. Mga obrang ginawa ni Jose, el filibusterismo at Noli Tangere. Tayo'y pinalaya sa mga manlulupig, di pa huhuli sa mga bayaning makikisig. Hanggang sa huli, bayay hindi niya tinalikuran. Consumatum est, natapos na ang salitang huli niyang pinitawan.
Ako si Crisostomo Ibarra. Ako ay may kasintahang nagngangalang Maria Clara.
Ako si Maria Clara, ang nag-iisang anak ni Kapitan Tiago, na siyang kilala ng marami dahil sa kayamanang taglay nito. Kasintahan ko ay si Ginoong Crisostomo Ibarra.
Piloso Potasio, maraming salamat sa tapang bawira mo. Tiyak magugustuhan ito ni Basilio. Teka, Basilio? Crispin? Mga anak? Nasaan kayo? Basilio! Crispin! Baliw? Hindi ako baliw! Basilio! Crispin! Mga anak! Gusto kong makita ang aking mga anak. Padre Damaso, nakita niyo ba si Basilio at Crispin? Padre Salve, nakita mo bang aking mga anak?
Noli is the first novel written by Dr. Jose Rizal and published in 1887. The novel is originally written in Spanish. The novel style is still more astonishing for it combines melodrama and satire. Admittedly, Rizal exaggerated a bit as in his portrayal of characters like the friars Damaso, Salve, and Sibayla. Noli me tangere, literally translated in the Latin words means touch me not. Taken from John chapter 20 verse 17, Jesus said to her, "Stop clinging to me, for I am not ascended to my Father, but be on your way to my brothers and say to them, I am ascended to my Father and to your Father and to my God and your God." Just one look at the novel, it already tells us every bit of what is in the novel. Rizal also purposely designed the title to be placed diagonally so that it can divide the upper and lower triangle. Cross symbolizes sufferings, pomelo blossoms and laurel leaves means honor and fidelity, silhouette of a Filipina symbolizes Maria Clara, burning torch means rage and passion, sunflowers means enlightenment, bamboo stalks that were cut down but grew back means resilience, a man in a cassock with hairy feet means priest using religion in a dirty way, chains symbolizes slavery, whips symbolizes cruelties, helmet of the Guardia Civil means arrogance of those in authority.
Noli is a classic novel, definitive, adhering to an established set of standards, punctuated with humor and wit, and of sustained interest, quality and style, vigorous and elegant, full of profound ideas and sublime thoughts, something worthy of its kind and worth remembering. Noli me tangere came into being because Rizal was deeply touched while reading Harriet Beecher Stowe's Uncle Tom's Cabin, which portrayed the brutalities of American slave owners and the pathetic conditions of the unfortunate Negro slaves. His empathy, as he sympathized with these oppressed people, became the starting point to write these novels. These two novels were aimed towards reform, but they were treated with different styles, characterized by a particular and distinctive mode of presenting and treating the content. While Noli me tangere was pacifist, choosing peaceful reforms through education of the youth, in El Filibusterismo Rizal sought to revenge the sufferings of his family and countrymen resulting from bitter and traumatic experiences. These differences was accounted for by Rizal's political ideal that the right thing would happen at the right time. He knew that his duty was to continue relentlessly to bring enlightenment for his country in general and to its educated youth in particular, making them see for themselves as they were really a people under tyranny and misrule of the colonial masters. He also wished that the Spaniards can see for themselves as they were the oppressors. Rizal was convinced that the Philippines was not ready to stand on its own feet and still needed assistance and support from Spain. He only yearned that the rights of the Filipinos would not be trampled upon and were respected, that the freedom due to them were duly granted, that the policy of the government was carried out judicially without treachery. He disliked revolution because it would bring about utter destruction to lives and property, but he concluded that if it had to be, so be it. Noli Tangere did not advocate for full independence, but Rizal postulated it as the only alternative if the Filipino cries were heard. Noli was dedicated to my country, for the Filipino people, his countrymen. He hoped to bring an improvement in the relation between the rules and the ruled. The novel presented Spain an opportunity to introduce fundamental reforms before it was too late. The book has also exposed some of Filipino weaknesses and some of Friar's wickedness. Rizal was aware of the shortcomings of his own people when it came to misplaced individualism. He emphatically advocated that there would no tyrants if there were no slaves, and the tyranny of some was possible only through negligence of others. He believed that the youth was the hope of the fatherland and that they needed education in order to attain reforms through peaceful methods. Noli Tangere is a Latin phrase translated in English, which means touch me not. The book contained things nobody in the Philippines had dared to speak about because they were delicate matters and could not be touched by anyone.
Here are the characters or the major characters of Noli Tangere. First is Ibarra or Juan Crisostomo Ibarra y Magsalin. Juan Crisostomo Ibarra y Magsalin is a son of a Filipino businessman, Don Rafael Ibarra. He studied in Europe for 7 years. Ibarra is also Maria Clara's fiancé. Upon his return, Ibarra requested the local government of San Diego to construct a public school to promote education in the town. Next is Maria Clara or Maria Clara de los Santos y Alba. Maria Clara was raised by Capitan Tiago, and she was the most beautiful and widely celebrated girl in San Diego. In latter parts of the novel, Maria Clara's identity was revealed as an illegitimate daughter of Father Damaso. Next is Capitan Tiago or Don Santiago de los Santos. Capitan Tiago is a Filipino businessman and the cabeza de barangay or head of barangay of the town of San Diego. He is also the known father of Maria Clara. He is also said to be a good Catholic, friend of the Spanish government, and was considered as a Spanish bicolonialist. Capitan Tiago never attended school, so he became a domestic helper of a Dominican friar who taught him informal education. He married Pia Alba from Santa Cruz. Next is Padre Damaso or Damaso Verdolagas. Padre Damaso is a Franciscan friar and the former parish curate of San Diego. Next is Elias. This is Ibarra's mysterious friend and ally. Elias made his first appearance as a pilot during a picnic of Ibarra and Maria Clara and her friends. He wants to revolutionize the country and to be freed from Spanish oppression. Next is Piloso Potasio. Piloso Potasio was seeking for reforms from the government. He expresses his ideals in a paper written in a cryptographic alphabet similar from hieroglyphs and Coptic figures. Sisa, Crispin, and Basilio represent a Filipino family persecuted by the Spanish authorities. Narcisa or Sisa is the deranged mother of Basilio and Crispin, described as a beautiful and young. Although she loves her children very much, she cannot protect them from the beatings of her husband Pedro. Crispin is Sisa's 7-year-old son, an altar boy. He was unjustly accused of stealing money from the church. After failing to force Crispin to return the money, he allegedly stole Father Salve, and the head sacristan killed him. Basilio is Sisa's 10-year-old son, an acolyte tasked to ring the church bells for the Angelus. He faced the dread of losing his younger brother and falling of his mother into insanity. Padre Hernando de la Cibaila, a Dominican friar, he is described as short and has fair skin. He is instructed by an old priest in his order to watch Crisostomo Ibarra. Padre Bernardo Salve, the Franciscan curate of San Diego, secretly harboring lust for Maria Clara. He is described to be very thin and sickly. The other characters are El Alferez or Alperez, Doña Consolacion, Doña Victorina or Doña Victorina de los Reyes de Espadaña, and Don Tiburcio de Espadaña, also Teniente Guevara, Alfonso Linares, Tia Isabel, Governor General, Don Filipo Lino, Padre Manuel Martin, Don Rafael Ibarra, and Doña Pia Alba.
Non-recurring characters. These characters were mentioned in the novel, or it appeared once or mentioned many times, or have no major contribution to the storyline. Number 1, we have Don Pedro Ibarramendia. He is the great-grandfather of Crisostomo Ibarra, who came from the Basque area of Spain. Number 2, we have Don Saturnino Ibarra, the son of Don Pedro, father of Don Rafael, and grandfather of Crisostomo Ibarra. He was the one who developed the town of San Diego, and he was described as a cruel man but was very clever. Number 3, we have Salome. She is Ilias' sweetheart. She lives in a little house by the lake, and though Ilias would like to marry her, he tells her that it would do her or their children no good to be related to a fugitive like himself. Number 4, we have Sinang, Maria Clara's friend, because Crisostomo Ibarra offered half of the school he was building to Sinang. He gained Capitan Basilio's support. Number 5, we have Iday, Andeng, and Victoria, which is Maria Clara's other friends. Number 6, we have Capitan Basilio, Sinang's father, leader of the Conservatives. Number 7, we also have Pedro, the abusive husband of Sisa, who loves cockfighting. Number 8, Tandang Pablo, the leader of the Tulisans, or bandits, whose family was destroyed because of the Spaniards. Number 9, we have El Hombre Amarillo, apparently means yellowish person, named as Taong Madilaw. One of Crisostomo Ibarra's would-be assassin. He is not named in the novel and only described as such. In the novel, he carved the cornerstone for Ibarra's school. Instead of killing Ibarra, he was killed by his cornerstone. Number 10, Lucas. The brother of Taong Madilaw, he planned a revolution against the government with Ibarra as the leader after he was turned down by Ibarra. He was said to have scar on his left cheek. He would later be killed by Sacristan Mayor. Number 11, we have Bruno and Tarsilo, a pair of brothers whose father was killed by the Spaniards. Number 12, we have Nor Juan or Nol Juan, which appointed as foreman of the school to be built by Ibarra. Number 13, we have Kapitana Tika, which Sinang's mother and wife of Kapitan Basilio. Number 14, we have Albino, a former seminarian who joined the picnic with Ibarra and Maria Clara, which was later captured during the Revolution. Number 15, we have Kapitana Maria Elena, which a nationalist woman who defends Ibarra of the memory of his father. Number 16, we have Kapitan Tinong and Kapitan Valentin, other known people from the town of San Diego. Number 17, we have last, Sacristan Mayor, the one who governs the altar boys and killed Crispin for his accusation. The plot revolves around Crisostomo Ibarra, mixed-race heir of a wealthy clan returning home after 7 years in Europe and filled with ideas on how to be better the lot of his countrymen. Striving for reforms, he is confronted by an abusive ecclesiastical hierarchy and the Spanish civil administration by turns indifferent and cruel. The death of Ibarra's father, Don Rafael, prior to his homecoming and the refusal of Catholic burial by Padre Damaso. The parish priest provokes Ibarra into hitting the priest, for which Ibarra is excommunicated. The decree is rescinded, however, when the Governor-General intervenes. The friar and his successor, Padre Salve, embody the rotten state of the clergy. Their tangled feelings, one paternal, the other carnal for Maria Clara, which Ibarra's sweetheart, and which Capitan Tiago's beautiful daughter, still their determination to spoil Ibarra's plans for school. The town philosopher, which Philosopher Tasio notes similar past attempts have failed, and his such commentary makes clear that all colonial masters fear that unenlightened people will throw off the yoke of oppression. Using satire brilliantly, Rizal creates other memorable characters whose lives manifest the poisonous effect of religious and colonial oppression. We have Capitan Tiago. We also have the social climber Doña Victorina de Espadanya and her toothless Spanish husband. We also have the Guardia Civil head and his haridan of a wife. We also have the sorority of devout women. We also have the disaffected peasants forced to become outlaws. We also have in some a microcosm of Philippine society, which in the afflictions that plague them, Rizal paints a harrowing picture of his beloved but suffering country in a work that speaks eloquently not just to Filipinos but to all who have endured or witnessed oppressions.
Okay, here's the conflict. The conflict of this story is the Spanish colonization's rudeness and persecution against Filipinos highlighted in the book Noli ni Tangere. His work then caused Rizal to be tried and convicted as a rebel or traitor. His sentence was to be killed by firing squad. Juan Crisostomo Ibarra, one of the main characters in Noli ni Tangere, or in English, Touch Me Not, returns to the Philippines after a 7 years absence studying in Europe. He is engaged to the other main character named Maria Clara, the beautiful daughter of Captain Tiago. With this work, Rizal set out to write a novel that would expose the ills and problems of the Philippine society, and in so doing created a passionate love story set against the backdrop of the political conflict against a repressive government.